Hello po, it's Teacher Joy of Teacher Joylyn Online Review. So, kung bago ka pa lang po sa aking YouTube channel, pakiclick ang subscribe button and of course, follow naman po sa ating FB page. So, today, we're gonna rationalize our 5 items drills na binigay sa mga let takers natin. Ito po ay under sa General Education. Alright, so first question natin, 146. Ito siya. So, the Philippine pre-colonial era attested that the first foreign religions to influence the Philippines were Buddhism and Hinduism around 900 AD. This influence came from the empire of Srivijaya. Ang question na, who were these aboriginal settlers who crossed the seas from southern Philippines? Letter A, Malays, B, Sumatrans, letter C, Negritos, D, Borneans. Alright, so ang tamang sagot natin dyan, teachers, ay letter A, Malays. So the pre-colonial settlers who crossed the seas from the southern Philippines and had extensive trade and cultural ties with the Srivijaya Empire ay ang mga Malay. So, they were the ones who carried and adopted influences like Buddhism and Hinduism from Srivijaya, centered in Sumatra. So, yun, no? And brought this cultural and religious elements to the Philippine archipelago starting around 900 AD. So, tandaan na natin na ang mga these aboriginal settlers who crossed the seas from the southern Philippines ay mga Malays. Okay. So, pag-usapan na din natin ang Sumatrans, Negritos, and Borneans. Ang Sumatrans ay the people of Sumatra, syempre. The core territory of Srivijaya. Pero hindi sila yung aboriginal settlers ng Southern Philippines. Okay. Ang Negritos naman ay ang pinakaunang inhabitants dito sa Pilipinas who arrive via land bridges and live in inland forested areas. Minsan lumalabas din yan si Negritos, no? Okay, letter D, Borneans naman. Hindi siya connected sa Borneo. Sorry. While Borneans were connections to Borneo, the term used to describe the broad group of seafaring settlers involved in this early cross-regional cultural transfers in Malays. Hindi siya, not physically Borneans. Okay, so ang ating tamang sagot dyan ay letter A, Malays. Alright, so next question, 147. Para itong Prof. Ed. Okay, so the writ of habeas data as invoked by any person whose right, habeas data, writ of habeas data. Letter A may requires a speedy and effectual remedy to relieve persons from unlawful restraint. Letter B, to life, liberty, and security is violated or threatened with violation by an unlawful act or omissions of a public official or employee. Letter C, none among the choices. Or letter D, to privacy in life, liberty, or security is violated or threatened in gathering, collecting, or storing of data or information. Ang tanong, the writ of habeas data as invoked by any person whose right, ano na nai-invoke doon? Alright, so ang ating tamang sagot 147 ay letter D, to privacy in life, liberty, or security is violated or threatened in gathering, collecting, or storing of data or information. So this is the exact legal definition of the writ of habeas data under the Philippine legal system. It is specifically intended to protect the right to privacy in one life, liberty, or security when the right is violated or threatened by the unlawful gathering, collection, storage, or use of personal data of information. Tandaan nyo lang guys, kapag writ of habeas data, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng data? Syempre, yun yung mga collections of storage, mga informations, mga personal data. So, yon data, personal data, mga collection of storage. Kapag may na-violate yon sa batas, no? Kasi dapat maging privacy. And dun, under dyan yung mga Privacy Act natin. So, kapag in private siya, and kapag na-violate yan ng kahit ng sino, no? Pinablik pinpublic or whatsoever, no? Without your permission. So, under yan ng writ of habeas data natin. Under the Philippine legal system. So, yun yung right mo or karapatan mo sa mga personal informations natin. So, yun dapat. For example, no, sa social media, kapag may nag-post without your permission about your personal data, so, na-violate nila yung iyong right of habeas data. So, yun. Okay. Pag-usapan na lang natin si letter A. Ang letter A naman, option letter A natin, may require a speedy and effective remedy to relieve person from unlawful restraint. Ito po ay purpose ng ating writ of habeas corpus at hindi po ang ating writ of habeas data. So, it is used to challenge unlawful detention or physical restraint. Yung mga na-detain na ng tao, na-restrain na tao, no, yun. Letter B naman, writ of amparo. Tandaan na natin si writ of amparo. Amparo, meaning tatlong beses mo yan syllabication. So, yan po ang ibig sabihin ay right to life, liberty, and security. So, yun. Dyan siya naka-answer. Yun. So, ang ating tamang sagot dyan, guys, ay letter D. To privacy in life, liberty, or security is violated or threatened in gathering, collecting, or storing data or information. Alright, so dito na tayo sa ating pangatlong tanong, 148. In what way could the executive department exercise check and balance over the legislative department? Is it letter A, the president could veto a bill, B, impeachment of the chief justice of the Supreme Court, C, declaring an act of the president unconstitutional, letter D, imposing salary grades to the members of the cabinet? Paano ma-exercise ng ating executive department ang check and balance? So, sa pamamagitan ng check and balance, dapat lahat ng kapangyarihan equal. Ganon yan sila. So, letter A po ang ating tamang sagot. The president could veto a bill. So, veto may ibig sabihin denied or hindi niya inaprubahan ng isang bill. So, under the principle of checks and balances, the executive department led by the president, yung namumuno dyan ay ang ating presidente, can block or revise laws passed by the legislative department or the Congress or Kongreso by using the veto power. This is the direct and constitutional check the executive holds over legislation. So, ganon, the president could veto a bill. Kapag hindi inaprubahan ng president ang isang batas, ano mangyayari sa isang, hindi pa siya batas, no? Bill pa lang siya. So, ano mangyayari sa isang bill? Ano yan, kailangan pagbobotohan yan ng mga Congress natin, ng mga Senate natin. So, dapat maka-2/3 yan sila. And then, in that way, magiging batas yung bill. Yan. Alright, so ito na yung ating second to the last question, 149. Question. Plaridel wrote the pamphlet La Philocracia Filipina in order to emphasize that the friars were the rulers during the Spanish colonial period. Who was Plaridel? So si Plaridel daw ay ang nagsulat ng La Philocracia Filipina. So, sino si Plaridel o ang kanyang totoong pangalan? Kasi during the Spanish colonization, ang ating mga heroes ay mahilig sa mga nicknames or pseudonyms para na din hindi sila makilala. So, sino si Plaridel? Letter A, Andres Bonifacio, B, Graciano Lopez Haina, C, Marcelo H. Del Pilar, D, Antonio Luna. Alright, so sino si Plaridel? Ang ating tamang sagot ay letter C, Marcelo H. Del Pilar. So, Marcelo H. Del Pilar used the pen name Plaridel. He wrote La Philocracia Filipina. Yung La Philocracia Filipina teachers ay lumabas ito during our time when I took the licensure examination for teachers. So, yung question na nalala ko ay sino yung nagsulat niyan? Ganon yun. So, yun. Parang ganito din siya. To expose how Spanish friars held immense political, economic, and social power effectively ruling the Philippines during the colonial period. So other options, si Andres Bonifacio, ang leader ng ating katipunan. Ang kanyang pen name ay Agapito Bagumbayan. Letter B naman, Graciano Lopez Haina, founder of La Solidaridad. Roth Frei Boto, lumalabas din po yan. Antonio Luna, a renowned general of the Philippine Revolution. Si Luna, minsan tawag sa kanya, Luna, ganon. So, yan. Letter C ang ating tamang sagot. Alright, so dito na tayo guys, teachers, sa ating pinaka-last na tanong, 150. Which rights invokes literally to produce the body? O, balik tayo ulit sa ating mga rights or writ of habeas data, writ of habeas corpus, writ of amparo. Yun lang yung tatandaan nyo, yung tatlong na yan. So, ano dyan ang produce the body? A. Writ of habeas data. B. Writ of habeas corpus. C. Writ of amparo. D. Human rights. Ang ating tamang sagot dyan, guys, ay letter B, writ of habeas corpus. Tandaan nyo ha, produce the body. So, yung writ of habeas corpus comes from the Latin word literally meaning you have the body. Meaning, corpus, you have the body. Produce the body. So, isa lang yon. It is a legal order requiring authorities holding a person in custody to present them before a court and prove the lawfulness of their detention. So, you meaning you have the body. Yung isang makasalanan na tao, hindi lang yan basta ikukulong. It means they have the body. You have the body kung ikaw ay isang kriminal. So, meaning lahat ay may proseso, lahat ay dadaan sa legal order, no? And kailangan niya i-present yung sarili niya to prove if he or she innocent or not. So, ganun. A writ of habeas corpus. Ang atin naman pong writ of habeas data, sabi ko, kapag data, tandaan yung informations. Ito naman yung you have the data. It protects the right to privacy and control over personal information. So, ito yung mga, kapag ikaw ay may personal dyan na tinatago, sabihin mo lang, oh, privacy ko yan. So, bawal pakialaman. Again, writ of habeas data. And of course, writ of amparo, sinasabi ko dito, amparo, tatlong bises yan or 3 syllables. So, tandaan mo yung right to life, liberty, and security. So, tatlo yan. So, ganun din yung tatandaan nyo. Of course, human rights. Ano ba yung mga human rights natin? The fundamental rights inherent to all people. Yun. Lahat ng rights ng ating bilang citizen. Ano ba yung mga rights natin? Yan yung human rights. So, again, ang ating tamang sagot ay letter B, writ of habeas corpus. So, yun, tapos na po tayo, guys, sa pag-rationalize ng ating 5 items na general education. Maraming salamat po sa mga nanood at saka sa mga sumagot. Maraming salamat po. So, you may comment your score sa ating video ito. And of course, regarding po sa ating enrollment for August, CSA exam, open pa po tayo. And of course, sa September, LET exam, open pa din po tayo. So, kung may mga kaibigan kayo, families, colleagues, relatives na hindi pa po nakapag-review center or kulang po yung pinag-aralan or what po, or for more additional resources, pwede po silang sumali sa ating review group. Very affordable po and nagbibigay din po kami ng mga free files or reviewers and of course, final coaching din po. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat. This is Teacher Joy. God bless everyone.